Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. Thank you for watching. So this is part 5 of my review of this book by Anthony Flew. There is a God. Part 4 ended with some quotations and citations from Stephen Hawking without an S, from his book A Brief History of Time, where we could see clearly that Stephen Hawking himself was questioning and inquiring, where did these laws of nature come from? Not only that, then he was asking, even if laws of nature exist, they don't explain the universe, because you need the force, the fire, the power to bring this universe into existence so that it functions according to these laws. The laws are not the creator. The laws only describe how the creator does things, how the creator allows for this universe to function and work. That's all they do. But those laws are rational, and they're precise, and they're complex, they're intertwined. They work together with an unimaginable level of harmony and fidelity. How did that come? How did this come into existence? Except that though all these laws are created and fashioned by a single creator, so that they work together with such harmony, with no conflict whatsoever, with no disturbance. That every atom in this universe behaves in the same fashion, and every subatomical particle behaves in the same fashion according to these very precise, mathematically calculated, regular, symmetric, complex, intertwined set of laws. And there are numerous, basically innumerable number, there's an innumerable number of various laws that govern this existence and this nature that we live in. The fact that every single atom and subatomic particle is subject and does obey these laws indicates that there's one force that is exerting, and there's one wisdom, there's one mind, there's one intelligence and one agent that exerts the same control in the same fashion on every single atom and subatomic particle in every aspect of this life. So the laws point to this great mind, to this agent, to this wise and knowledgeable agent. But on top of that, he asks himself here, what is it that breathes fire into these equations and makes a universe out of them? Not only that, he goes on to say, the overwhelming impression is one of order. Everything is going according to a fixed order. The more we discover about the universe, that's Stephen Hawking speaking, the more we discover about the universe, the more we find that it is governed by rational laws. Not only are these laws universal, but they are rational, they are understandable, they make sense. And then he says, and you still have the question. There's a third question. So these are 3 levels of questions Hawking is asking, and they all point towards the creator. And he explicitly said, as we will see if you go back to part 4, that if you understand all these laws together, then you have understood the mind of God. That's what he says. Stephen Hawking, sorry. He says here also, he says, you still have the question, why does the universe bother to exist? If you like, you can define God to be the answer to that question. And again, Stephen Hawking here says that what brings this universe into existence in the first place, and then allows it to work according to a very specific, precise set of laws, and then breathes fire into these laws and force and power and puts them into motion, puts this universe into motion. If you ask yourself, even the electron revolving around the nucleus, which is positively charged, the nucleus is, and the electron is negatively charged. If the electron was static, it will basically fall into the nucleus, and the atom would release an immense amount of energy, and this is basically equivalent to the energy of nuclear fission or nuclear fusion, where this energy is the energy that forms atomic bombs. What prevents those electrons from falling into and hitting the nucleus? What prevents those electrons from basically being attracted into the nucleus, and then this whole universe would crumble? It is this force that continuously makes those electrons rotate and revolve around the nucleus with such speed that this centrifuge force that propels those electrons away from the nucleus is equivalent to the force that is attracting them into the nucleus. And this intricate balance is kept. Otherwise, this whole universe would cease to exist. It would crumble, it would crunch, and we would all basically vanish. We've quoted here Stephen Hawking, and that these big minds, these pioneers of science, when they use their minds, they come to the same conclusion, that there is a mind, there is an agent, there is a reasonable agent, there is wisdom, there's a wise agent that is behind the scene, who is behind this understandable, complex, organized universe. Even Einstein, what did Einstein say? He says, I want to know how God created this world. I want to know his thoughts. The rest are details. Basically, when Einstein here is saying that when he studies the laws of nature and tries to discover them, he's trying to understand the mind of God, because the mind of God, or the knowledge and the wisdom of God, is manifest in this universe. And if Einstein had gone into religion, in depth into religion, he would know also that the scriptures, the books, the revelations from God, those express the knowledge of God as well. So if you really want to know the knowledge of God,